Thank you very much, Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the commentary desk for game number 2 of Cloud9 versus Enemy, or as game 1 went, Cloud9 versus Cloud9, like themselves maybe. Yeah, that one was like very, very one-sided. But Enemy, let's see if they can bring it back. I mean, this is going to be a big question for this team. They're not very tenured. They don't have a lot of experience, nor a lot of wins under their belt. A few here in land, but can they make the comeback mentally versus Cloud9? On the desk, I'm Bart, joined by Brandon and Weekend from Envy. That's Envy_Weekend with a 3. If you want to follow him along on Twitter.
Looks like Enemy's loss prompts them to switch things up. They're going to be taking the second seat this time, as Cloud9 will have option for first pick.
That's right. Remember, Cloud9 was the higher seed coming into this, and Cloud9 did choose second pick in the first game. And look at that, Cloud9, they've done their research here. They're going to ban out this Bastet, a big-time comfort pick from Enemy in their previous series. And right away off the board, you got to think that's maybe getting a little bit in Enemy's head. I mean, maybe they're thinking, even if they're not thinking, let's go for the Bastet, that just kind of shows you that Cloud9 isn't worried about them getting a top-tier pick.
I think it's a mix of them not wanting Enemy to be able to default to those comfort picks,
yep,
and they might be looking for a Zeus pick.
A Zeus of their own again?
Yep.
Yeah, Bastet has been picked up a lot against the Zeus, but unfortunately, so many times we've seen Bastet picked up into Zeus, and then Thor drafted on the same side as Zeus, and Thor just laughs at the kiddies with Berserker's Barrage.
No surprise here. Hell going to be taken away. She's an 83% win rate this weekend. Jeez.
Not a lot of games played in, but yeah.
So, I mean, how did we get to 83 then? Sounds like she's been played a lot.
I think maybe 5 times? 6 times, something like that?
6, yeah, I would guess 6. 1 game she's lost. That's something.
She's a ticking time bomb. She gets to that point in the game, and you win.
And like 97% pick ban rate. I mean, she was not picked in or banned in 1 game.
1 game, yeah. Soul going to be taken away. Again, not a surprise. I think
picks.
Cloud9 recognizes her being overrated.
Look at this.
A little bit, but still doesn't want to give it to Vetium, who has had incredible performances.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Enemy's going to be forced to ban Khepri here because of how effective it was in the last game. That means Xing 10 is going to be going to Cloud9 very likely here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right call. I mean, we saw Baskin play it once, and it was like devastation.
Well, they're going to see what they go for. They may just surprise us and first pick Xbalanque and just be like, BaRRaCCuDDa, please win game.
Yeah,
nope,
maybe.
Xing 10 it is. Now, if Enemy doesn't pick up Thor in their first picking phase here, things could get hairy quickly.
Adjust hasn't really shown Thor playstyle, though. He's been playing a lot of Hunbots, a lot of Bastet, a lot of Circuit. You know, that's kind of what I'm looking at him for. You know, those deep backliners who were trying to be very disruptive with damage, not disruptive with CC.
Sure.
We've seen Adjust carry games. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Back to the Zhong. I mean, that just means that they're concerned about MLC Zhong here. I mean, it feels like they're taking that away because it wasn't particularly successful.
They're either concerned about it or they just think they misplayed something and the whole last draft was actually good.
This is what it was like casting your game.
I understand.
Zhong again. You saw what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's overvalued, but this game will tell.
Xbalanque. Bart was almost right. Second pick, Shiba. And then we got Zeus coming back in.
All right, so they're just going back to the last game, but they're replacing Osiris with Xing Tian. And Bellona does get through. Bellona was banned in game 1, but I think you got to be feeling pretty good about Xing Tian into Bellona. He brings a lot of the same thing to the table, long-range initiation, single target.
My favorite thing this weekend about Bellona has been when we go to comms and they are about to kill her and they get to yell the word Bellona 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's been the best part of my weekend.
Bellona, 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 Bellona.
Yeah.
I like Gep.
For me, it's Xing 10. If I see Xing 10 die, I'm shocked.
The raid boss himself.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
3 people, 3 ultimates, and a few actives.
Yeah, this
and
character.
Even then, you might lose one.
He's not big on the whole dying thing. And what we've seen out of Xing 10 so far this weekend is that damage items are for cowards. You just build all tank items and still do 20 Gs of damage in the game. Confirmed past ban here from Enemy.
So they're going to be going.
What do you think about this one, Weekend? Break it down. Why did
guys
pass
did
that?
You know, we didn't do it on purpose. Actually. It wasn't selected.
We thought it was like we can force them to ban Mercury. We'll take Hunbots, right?
See, I can't see what. I can't really see ahead to what they're looking at. It's junglers they're looking for right now and an ADC, so I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to ban out, the Hunbots or the Circuit in case they don't get the other or something like that. Or the Thor Circuit.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's Thor Circuit and Hunbots still in the pool, so
Yes.
it's kind of questionable.
Here comes Cupid.
Get out of here.
Come on, Zeus and Xbalanque, this is his time.
I don't see why, but okay.
Because Heart Bomb, Fields of Love, come on, man. Cupid, Hunbots, they're the same.
Yeah, that surprises me. Why didn't they ban out Thor?
Yeah, why would you not ban Thor in that situation? They also had the first pick coming out of that banning phase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cooper's just smiling. He's like, I don't know, man.
Check it out, dude. Here it comes. Cloud9's going to draft both Thor and Circuit.
Sobek for JeffHindla and Circuit. No, it's going to be Thor.
It's definitely Thor. With how that last Thor game went, to not run that back would be criminal.
And it just protects Zeus so well. It's all everyone always talks about. Let's just dive the Zeus and kill the Zeus because he bursts. We can outburst him. But with Thor, you're not getting to a Zeus.
And
well,
also
there's
you
Darkest
have
of
Zhong
Nights. There's 2 CCs from Thor, 2 CCs plus a slow from Sobek. Xing Chen as a god, right? Like, final pick for enemy. They're looking for their hunter. A few picks remain. I think the correct pick here is probably Freya.
Freya right into the Xing Chen.
I think Cloud9's happy either way. They're already forcing him into something that's not in his top 3.
It's true.
So they're gonna take Apollo here to try to make up for some of this global presence of the Xbalanque and the Thor. Athena Apollo. I mean, it's okay for the counter initiation after that Thor dunked down, but Apollo doesn't come in with any of the force or disruption that a Thor would. Why do you think Apollo there over something like a Huyi that has a little more team fight potential?
I think he's just trying to play safe now. I think after that last game on Ul that he might have been looking to play aggressive, it didn't work out. I think he's looking to play safe.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
Ul
literal
Athena.
opposite, right?
Yeah, it is actually. I'm really surprised by these drafts. Enemy had really strong drafts the other day, and this one just looks like it's going to Cloud9.
Well, Ul Athena, like, I think once they got the taunt into Axe combination in that lane, and besides that, pretty much shot out of their tower at half HP the entire time.
I think even that got turned around.
It did, that's right. Yeah, coming out way behind in that trade was Ul or Xbalanque poison darts, plus Rising Jaguar. Not a good feeling.
There are the Cloud9 boys. So
All
looking
smiles
pretty
as per usual for Johnny.
A little friendly going on. But remember, 2 more games, they take the $70,000 prize. Remember, $55,000 for second place. So there's $3,000 per player on the line, which is a fairly large deal.
It's going to be the biggest payday that anybody on Enemy's seen in a long time.
Yeah, either way.
From Professional Smite, regardless of first or second there. I mean, these guys were pretty much at the bottom of the ladder last year, or I'm sorry, in the last split. And then coming into this split, improved their seeding pretty substantially through this tournament. So, and not to mention a berth at Worlds. And you got to think a berth at Worlds from a Western organization right now is it's pretty good for a few $100,000 there as well, assuming that you can take down an Oceanic, Brazilian, Latin American, or Chinese team in round 1.
Chinese team.
Yeah, the Chinese teams are the big black box there. We've kind of seen the strength of Brazil, Latin America, and Oceania, and it looks like these North American squads or European squads probably have the edge there, but China, all bets are off.
I mean, anyone who goes in to Worlds doubting China just doesn't understand video games. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah. Last year they showed up, and their translator asked me, "What does Sylvanas do? We have never seen him." He was the best character in the game by a mile.
You mean Alquang?
What? No, Sylvanas.
Best character in the game by a mile at Worlds last year?
Sylvanas.
Pretty sure it was Alquang.
Mr. I heal minions, right? Like, there was no killing him ever.
Going into Worlds, it was Sylvanas. Once Worlds got played, it was Alquang.
All right, that's fair. But still, going into the tournament, and they didn't even know what he did, and they still almost beat Titan. They first blooded Snoopy. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Shouts to Xing. The first player to die to a Chinese team in China and America.
That's right.
Now on Xbox, where soon we will be as well.
Could be. We'll see.
Well, we're underway here, guys. Cloud9 versus Enemy. It's game number 2. Cloud9 up 1-0. This is a best-of-5 contest. 3 wins needed to advance.
Andy was 2 seconds behind on the timing there. Humbots has an opportunity with the Bellona to get to lane a little bit quicker. Mid-camp control should belong to Khaos here, but remember, I mean, it's Zeus versus Zhong.
That's true, but the Zhong could play up and eat some of those autos to avoid the early clear and then get pressure for himself. It looks like we might actually have some pressure on. Yep.
Yeah, look at that. Even with Hunbots getting to the lane faster, they're still going to push him out onto the right side here. That will go to Zeus and Thor. No real difference between the right and the left side camps there. You just get back a little bit faster to the right side as the junglers are rotating from the right side.
No, but it also allows them to invade those back camps again. You're going to see the Zeus Thor push up and more than likely go for the solo side or duo. Yep, they're going to the duo side.
Look at this guy. He's like, wait, they went that way. Let's go. And he's like, oh, they're going for back camps. That's actually a pretty big misplay. By going to that back camps, they're going to lose at least 75 gold in that lane.
Yeah, they missed out on, what, 1 or 2 creeps more than likely? That's actually a lot.
It'll wind up being at least 3 by the time they clear it. Zhong's clear at this point. Even with the overhand smash, it's not going to be enough to clear that front melee. So they will have lost. Oh, actually, they had a Guardian minion. Maybe not. Maybe not. I didn't see that brute.
Yeah, they didn't seem to lose that much gold. But either way, it's still... It's the pressure that's being put out.
Where
are they going to their back camps now?
What is he doing?
No.
Wait, no, he's still going.
Now they are.
Hello?
He's got to know they're gone.
Yeah, but what if they didn't do them?
Then
just went back there.
Yes, I get back camps, right?
See, this is going to turn out to be really bad. That early pressure, level 5 pressure with Thor with Red Pot, it's going to be scary.
Ooh, and look, speaking of scary, Bellona so far handling Baskin. You'll notice the jump right there. That was
not
really
so
important.
much, dude. Baskin's up in pot still.
That jump was the entire goal of that wasn't to do damage to the minion or get the gold. He was just trying to keep the passive alive. Remember, it only activates with abilities and when he hits them. Very smart of him to do that. Remember, 36 HP 5 he's trying to keep online at all times.
Nice dash forward there coming out of Vetium. Going to get a lot of harass out onto JeffHindla Sobek here. But Xbalanque Sobek has a lot of kill potential, probably more so than the Athena Apollo. Poison darts when you're back behind the enemy minions is very, very difficult to deal with the slow and the branching bolas damage from BaRRaCCuDDa.
Overall, gold seems pretty even. Cloud9 with a very small advantage so far. Experience, I would say, is a little bit more notable. Hindla taking more damage. PainDeViande getting the better of him this time, but still not being as aggressive as we've known Pain to be.
I think one of the big stories here for Cloud9 is their willingness and what they've done against PainDeViande as Athena. You heard we can kind of highlight that at the end of the last game, but they've given the captain of the team his best god now twice in a row. Game 2 seemed to go a little bit better for enemy, but still, we'll see if Cloud9 is able to win this one. You got to wonder what bags of tricks, or what enemy has left in that bag of tricks.
So a year ago, we talked about Thorgars and how it was the recipe for death had you let it through. Do you think that torch has been completely passed to Andy now?
I think Andy's always had that Thor that was right behind Thorgars, just because he kind of had maybe a bigger god pool, or maybe he played those other gods up to the same level of as his Thor. But now, yeah, Andy and adapting.
Oh, adapting, man.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's exactly right. It was kind of funny because, like, Gars was so much better on Thor than the rest of his pool that he kind of started identifying with it, but Andy was, like, right there with him just as good, but it was just like, oh, yeah, it's andinster.
Well, speaking of adapting, like, poor Cubo Fred wins the tournament, and the word adapting is still going to be the name we hear going into Worlds.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, even in that final game that they lost, he did really well for himself.
Well, I actually talked to Funball after that game. I'm like, Funball, why did you jump into your team with the Circuit ult? He goes, oh, mate. Like, as soon as I hit the button, I'm like, oh, no. But, yeah, adapting made that play. Well, I guess Funball made the play, but adapting helped make the play. But Cubo Fred, I mean, what a jungler. I mean, the guy, he has proven his ability to play from behind, from the jungle role, has been, like, the highest. I mean, we saw him 2,000 gold behind Frostiak, and he comes back and carries the team.
He's an amazing guy. You know, if you talk to his team, they say, oh, whenever he's behind, he's like, let's get out of this. Let's have 6. I don't know if they're joking or not, but it's pretty clear that he can play in any situation he needs to. You know, the highlight, they actually did end up taking the purple. Enemy ended up taking Cloud9's purple.
Really?
And if they keep taking it from Xbalanque, it's going to be pretty bad.
Andy right now walks over. They take their own blue buff. No big deal there. BaRRaCCuDDa in the lane still. Just now got enough for that Transcendence. I think it prudent for him to push one more wave for free, and yeah, he's going to take that idea as well.
What do you think about this Salt Machine versus Baskin Robbins matchup? Salt Machine getting way the better of this one.
I mean, it's early game Bellona. It's what she does.
Xing should start taking it back over at this point in the lane. About level 8 to 10 is when it should turn the corner a little bit back in favor of the Guardian.
Yeah.
But all things told, I mean, building himself a pretty nice lead there. About 500 to 600 gold for the Bellona in addition to most of a level. Is that going to be enough to kind of stay toe-to-toe with Xing for, you know, into the level 14, 15 range?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at him. The way that he jumped over that bludgeon. Salt Machine wasn't quite quick enough on the mouse turn, and Baskin Robbins maintains not only his passive, but control of the lane, but
here comes the bots. Adjust. He's going to have a decent angle here. It doesn't look like they're trying to set up for a kill.
They just went right for the creeps. Weaken shrugs a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he just kind of went over there, took XP for no reason. They didn't put any pressure out. Yeah, I mean, you either commit to it or you should have realized you shouldn't go over there.
No criticizing players. Reddit thread's coming now.
That's probably going to happen either way. But for Cloud9, I really feel like that Xing 10 anyway, even you're talking about losing the lane or maybe like maybe being behind a little bit.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're ready for the transition to the team fight. They think Baskin is going to transition to the team fight far better than the Bellona is.
Similar. So, I mean, you see that also in how andinster's playing, right? He hasn't even sniffed the solo lane yet, nor the dual lane, full-on farming. And, yeah, you think Cloud9's probably setting up for that team fight again. And, well, you would expect what we've seen out of Xing 10 so far is that he is very manageable in the lane until about level 10. And then once he gets his maxed out roar, it just starts really getting
roar plays for cock.
No, roar, not a roar.
He has a roar.
Maximum Jackson. The most Jackson you can have on the commentary desk ever. Huh?
That move is just the best.
Which one?
Never mind. Damn it. Oh, well, 6 minutes in, no kills. A much more clean game we've had from the enemy side, not falling victim to andinster's insane rotations. What you looking at, Weekend?
They're going for the purple buff again, like I said. They want to keep taking it and shut down the Xbalanque.
And you'll notice, actually, Vetium went into the jungle before that and placed the ward down above to see if Andy was rotating over. They have control over the Gold Fury. This gives them enough vision to walk in. JeffHindla is going to find Thor. I don't know if he's going to choose. Actually, stealth rotating over.
Yeah, and he's going to go back towards the mid camps there. So the fight called off by Cloud9. Enemy will take that purple for free. An Apollo ultimate was expended in addition to a Sobek and Thor ultimate. So all around, a win for the boys in red this time around. Enemy on the Chaos side.
This almost looks like how Titan looked last year, where Cloud9 just bodied them for 2 games in a row, and then they came back. By the way, not stolen there. Saltmachine able to grab that one. And
no, it was stolen. Baskin has it.
I think this is first blood.
They're going to try to dump everything into him here. The healing coming out. Darkness of Nights. Baskin trying to kite through them. You're not that slippery. Not even going to make it back to Sobek in time. And yes, indeed, first blood goes to enemy this time around. Here comes a counter engage from Cloud9. There is no Thor ult. Remember, it was used unsuccessfully in the last engagement. And this time, enemy playing the enemy game. They've kind of forced Cloud9 to this enemy game here. They've gotten their successful pressure onto the purple buff. They've gotten some nice counter initiations there. Baskin uses his ultimate to secure the buff, and the second that happens, you saw Pain start channeling that Athena ultimate onto Saltmachine and netting themselves a kill, credited to Zhong.
See, for me, it's hard to credit the hit versus the error. I mean, you're ulting a blue buff, you're using your jump early. Like, Baskin set himself up for failure there, and Saltmachine and Adjust took advantage of, or PainDeViande rather, took advantage of that beautifully. And with Chaos rotating over, I mean, it was maybe even overkill with the recall demons coming out, but they wanted to secure first blood, and I think it was the right call.
Yeah, realistically, a recall demons isn't going to be like drastically changing a team fight until that Zhong has some power behind it. But just as a tool to secure the kill onto the extremely resilient Xing Tian, I think it's a good call because you're probably not killing him too many more times this game.
There's the Shell 1 again, by the way.
Yeah.
To Aurora's ire.
Aurora is somewhere right now just like shaking his head and cursing. I wish you could hear what Incon has to say about that Shell 1.
There's no way that Aurora has ever cursed in his life.
Yeah, he's too nice.
Incon doesn't buy actives.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Incon not an active buyer. Nor a support player these days.
Nope.
That's why he had to be moved. He's like, the only one I knew how to build was Hog. They took it out of the game. Until Tricks today. Hidden Man's been waiting to say told you so for like 9 months.
Oh, on the Hog?
Yeah.
Hog's still a thing? Kinda? Sorta?
If you're gonna
take 3-minute Gold Furies, it's pretty good.
Walk into red buff and steal it and then birds out, right?
That's that old mid-camps Bastet play.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
The classic.
My favorite.
My favorite is the Geb Blinken Hog rollout back when Geb was first released and he was like super powerful and impossible to kill, and then go to solo lane and laugh.
So right now?
Yeah, basically. At all times, yes.
Baskin, remember, this is where things are going to get much harder for Bellona. He's clearing the wave more efficiently. He can reduce hard damage. He has a bit more sustainability as well. In fact, she's going to have a hard time killing that thing, considering the fact that he reduced her attack speed.
They're taking the purple buff.
Purple buff again.
Again?
Hey, let's take a listen in with Cloud9 comms and see what they think about these purple buff steals.
I'm ulting up, looking at Hun.
Alright. I got big tower, big tower.
Looking at Hun.
I'm underwater, I'm on Zhong.
Look at Zhong, look at Zhong.
Okay.
Apollo.
I'm
dunking them.
Apollo ulted. Zhong's almost dead, Zhong, that's Hun ult. Athena ult.
Apollo, Hun, who's on me?
Baskin's coming in.
I'm coming.
Baskin's coming
They're
in.
really weak.
Target?
Look at Hun.
Alright. Hun no ult.
Nice.
Nice.
Look at Hun.
Nice. You got that?
Yeah.
Can we gold?
Care. I'm coming over Baskin. We can fight. We can.
Yeah, fight.
Yeah, help him out.
Trying to get Baskin out. I'm really weak.
I got it.
Alright, nice. I'm really weak.
We have minions in tower.
Get out with you.
He is dead. Bonus ult.
Get out. Can we get tower?
Yeah, get tower.
I'm resetting. Be careful getting tower. Maybe you don't want to.
I'm running.
You guys should reset.
I'm running.
Because if you get tower, they're going to get gold.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Zhong left.
Really nice shot there.
Getting both mids.
No shot, Randy.
So I think the idea behind it was they're not stealing our purple buff again.
Yeah, well, my favorite part, I think, of the comms in that fight was Baskin asking if they could dive the tower while already diving the tower. And that just goes to show you the strength of Xing Tian and generally speaking, what solo laners are good for and why we've seen them shift so heavily into the Warrior Guardian-based meta.
What do you mean what solo laners are good for? We're the whole team. Everyone else there is
say
to
that's
support,
a Maniac and Omega after yesterday's game.
Everyone is there to support the solo laner. In fact, supports are just solo laners that don't do damage.
Solo laners haven't discovered themselves yet?
Exactly.
Yeah, Baskin kind of controlled that whole fight.
Of course he did. He's a solo laner.
I mean, Saltmachine wasn't even in the fight, and like the fight went kind of even. Ults were used, and then
Salt got a tier 1.
Okay.
That's 500 gold, right?
Yeah, but then that Xing Tian rotation did huge on the back end.
And Bellona, I mean, she has her level 1 teleported. By the time that Baskin started that fight, she had already teleported to lane, which at that point, she was just like, I can help you with 500 gold, boys. Good luck. It's a long trip trying to walk from bottom right solo to top right, top left top, right?
Sounds like Weekend has gotten kind of the handle on this Cloud9 strategy, pointing out a couple times that they're just waiting for the team fight phase to begin, and indeed that's the case. First team fight does come out, and it's 3-1 after that first blood for Cloud9. They find 3 big kills in that engagement, diving at tier 1. They don't net the tower out of it. You heard in their comms, though. I mean, they definitely they probably could have taken it, but you heard them say, if we take this tier 1, they get gold because they would have been so low, giving up quite a bit to the Apollo rotating back in.
Baskin's just still sitting in this jungle.
Well, he's going to force them to deal with him, and that's like really
he's
the
gonna
big
steal
value of
this
the Xing
backhand.
Tian.
Watch
Can he
this.
get the big minion?
No,
Nope,
didn't get it.
Can't. But will force Bellona back. Her teleport 1 has been used, so not going to be able to make it back to lane too fast. Xing Tian looks like he has the timer on that orange. No, he's not going to stick around for that. He's just going to go fight in between the tier 1 and the tier 2 mid because Baskin Robbins.
Actually, just used his jump. He's going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's tossed backwards out of the Zeus ult, strangely enough. This could be a turnaround. Misplay from Baskin as they reduce the damage. He manages to stay alive for now. Stealth credited with the kill for the jungler.
Looks like card is going to be barely not enough. Yes, it will be
JeffHindla.
enough to pick up Baskin. JeffHindla in a bit of trouble as he's going to go try to get out of this one. MLC Stealth will go for the Aegis to avoid the shield damage. Taunt was saved for Bludgeon. Not enough, but the dash is. Salt Machine gets a kill, and now it's enemy answering back with a big team fight of their own.
Baskin, I mean, the call there, I think, might have been a little bit late. Stealth puts the ult down, but at that point, Baskin had really already committed to throwing them that way. The reaction time necessary to keep them in the ult would have been too high.
The good thing here is, too, Apollo didn't use his ult in the fight. He's already at Gold Fury. He backed and went straight to Gold Fury.
All eyes on BaRRaCCuDDa here as he attempts to make the steal.
Let's take the enemy comms here as BaRRaCCuDDa's going to move in. Gold Fury looking like it may be secured here for enemy.
I'm back in. Which are Thor?
They got him. We need to kill the X-Ball, we need to kill the
They're
X-Ball.
teleporting back, Watch out, behind us. Xing, behind us. Careful. I'm up. How about Spidey if you can?
Do you have anything?
I'm up.
Kill her. I'm dead.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's get out while you guys can.
Yeah. What was time
Wait,
approximately?
holy shit, how is
Holy
he still alive?
shit, he's
I
still
could have.
alive.
I don't know how he's
That's
still
No,
alive.
it's fine, it's
I
fine.
could have
Go ahead,
ulted.
we can.
Yeah, we need to like burst gold or like just completely reset it when X-Ball came.
You heard enemy. I kind of just were like, oh, bummer. I mean, they didn't seem too like put off by the fact that Gold Fury got picked up by Cloud9. Seemed.
I'm sorry, did Salt Machine not use his ultimate in that fight?
I don't know. Let's take another look at it here, though, as we're going to see how this Gold Fury was taken. BaRRaCCuDDa's going to disrupt. We have it from his perspective here, and then in will come the Thor, I believe, who secures it. They used the taunt there. I mean, maybe that's probably the most important piece of it, is that the taunt was used by the Athena on the Xbalanque that had a much smaller chance of securing that with an in-hand than the Thor moving in with Mjolnir's Attunement and a stun. And, well, that's the game plan from Cloud9 there, was to disrupt with BaRRaCCuDDa and make the opportunity for andinster.
Why didn't we see the Eagles rally come out from Salt Machine?
I'm actually really surprised he didn't use it. I don't think they expected. I mean, BaRRaCCuDDa baited them to all turn around. All 5 of them turned and looked the wrong direction. Thor just kind of scooped in, and they had no idea he was there.
Check out this Lord of the Rings push on left side with all these archers. BaRRaCCuDDa is trying to freeze the wave here.
Helms deep at the tier 1.
They're going for it. And yeah, you're going to see he's going to slow this down. The archers will die pretty slowly here, giving the creeps on the top side enough time to rotate down and freeze the lane a little bit closer to BaRRaCCuDDa's tower, which will keep him safer, allow him to farm more safely, which of course Xbalanque wants to do forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much pressure they want to put there is a big grouping here for the tier 1 in the mid lane on enemy. Cloud9 going to look to defend that one. Taking a look all around player damage and to the advantage of Bellona. Right behind her, Xing Tian. And then BaRRaCCuDDa putting on 6,500 damage as well. Andinster just off to the left side of mid lane. Maybe looking to find a pick here onto enemy. Got to be looking for that Batz or Zhong most likely.
Vetium in some trouble here. BaRRaCCuDDa going real deep. Branching bolas don't care about creeps. Burning right through. Vetium was moving during the ultimate. It gets caught. BaRRaCCuDDa credited soloing Vetium down.
Man, this is going to be a tier 1 on the back of that. Weekend, what do you think, man?
I'm really surprised he got 1v1, honestly. Barra, like we keep saying, he's a safe farmer, and he just took it to him. I think he can really tell that he's not fully comfortable in this Apollo pick.
Yeah, and it must have been the case that either the dash or the teleport was used. You saw there Andinster does have a teleport 1 available. Use it into the mid lane. Batz ultimately comes up, but it just goes for the overhand smash, finding nothing. And here comes the rest of Cloud9. This fight all topsy-turvy. Red on the blue side of the map through the wall. The roar will miss. Adjust. He's going to be getting out of this one okay.
They just got the tier 2 off of that. Enemy forced a fight, and Cloud9 was like, all right, well, we'll back off while BaRRaCCuDDa gets free towers.
Very strange, yeah, to see them trying to force a fight when they know BaRRaCCuDDa is split pushing. He's on the map killing creeps. And for some reason,
I think they were just trying to force something while the Thor ult was down because they know they used it and it really did. I mean, he got the Apollo died, but he didn't get anything off of it. I think they just wanted to force something right away.
Gold Fury going to be coming back around here in like 90 seconds or so. You got to think Cloud9 setting up for that again, as they did steal the last one. They'll probably try to bully enemy after winning that fight up about 4K gold. They're looking to force something here, one would imagine.
In that 5K experience, that's 6 levels right now between the two teams. Cloud9 pretty far ahead at this point as Baskin comes in again and just forced to jump away. They're turning some damage onto Khaos. It doesn't look... Was that Shell?
Shell?
Was
Yeah,
that
he popped the
Shell
Shell for that.
3?
Sometimes you don't want to take half your HP bar to Xing did.
I mean, sometimes you also lose the most important active in the meta.
Well, he's the Zhong at least in this regard.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, at least they won't have to deal
But
with the
against
Zhong
Zeus?
Against Zeus, yeah, and there's a Shell that's going to be back up for the next fight for Sobek as well. But either way, unlikely they'll be fighting before that Shell's back up. Gold Fury going to be coming back around in just under a minute now, and Shell will be available for that next engagement.
Look at Andy.
Most likely.
Andy's still kind of hanging out in their jungle looking to initiate. Weekend, tell me about jungle initiations.
You know I'm all about it.
Calling it back in. They're going to try to put some damage out onto andinster, but he does still have that Thor ultimate available to get out if need be. Xbalanque ultimate's going to be forced. It's not because the disengage, it's because BaRRaCCuDDa is just reaming Vetium.
And what can Vetium do at this point? He needs to be farming, and he can't. BaRRaCCuDDa completely controlling left side. And remember, Gold Fury up in 20 seconds. They can't afford to drop someone at this point.
It's insane that they didn't get... You were looking for the Apollo to get the lead, right? Because they kept taking purple over and over and over again, and BaRRaCCuDDa's completely turned it around.
Let's take a listen in here to the Cloud9 comms as they're going to take a fight in the enemy jungle, potentially setting up a Gold Fury at 18 minutes.
Very good stuff.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's their heavenly agility.
Nice.
Wing gold, wing gold, wing
Gold's
gold.
up. Stealth
Gold.
ult's down. Careful, stealth ult down.
I'm pulling him. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
There's 2 mid.
Yeah,
Just zone
you're by yourself.
Baskin. I'll zone with
Yeah,
you.
everyone's zoning, everyone's zoning.
Who's kind of low? Who's kind of
Yeah,
low?
everyone's zoning. zoning.
Everyone's zoning.
I have I'm just looking for poke here.
Nice
I'll
poke,
poke
dude.
Toon a
Yeah.
lot.
We can maybe put
Keep
some
on doing
tower.
gold,
Yeah.
keep on doing
Be
gold.
careful, be
Yeah.
careful, be careful.
I
Don't
got
get too
gold,
greedy
I
on
have
it.
gold, I have gold.
Let's
I
make
have gold.
secure gold.
Yes.
And rotate
They're
mid
backing
team.
off. We can actually...
Yeah.
no.
That's
Mid
mid
is a team. Mid
They
is a
have
team.
the-
Yeah,
Mid is a team.
yeah.
That's a Athena ult. That's a Athena ult down.
I have
Who's
everything.
back?
Look at
Who's
Vetium.
back?
Back.
Nice poke.
He's poked. Look at mid tower. Look at mid tower.
Alright.
Their speed's up too.
Spread out for Tom, spread
My
out.
Actually,
ult's up.
let's
Yeah.
just not.
I have shell.
Yeah,
Okay.
No?
Yeah, let's
I
reset.
have
yeah,
let's
reset.
reset.
We have a lot of buffs up.
Alright.
And we have a lot of gold on us.
I'm just
Yeah.
getting back first.
I like it.
All we have to do is not mess up.
They're gonna.
A lot of times, you know, you hear the chatter, especially from the commentary team, about Thor as an initiator, as a damage dealer, Red Pot Thor, his passive, his aggressiveness in the early game. But you can hear just how much Cloud9 values the poke. Twice in that engagement, andinster finds double tap onto Adjust and then again onto Vetium. Both of them basically taken out of the fight from that long range, very, very safe poke out of the Thor.
I mean, one of the reasons you want Thor, right? Because he does have that insanely... What in the world? Well, what was that?
He was trying to stop the guy from backing, I guess, but he was
But
not
by
even
using
close.
preemptive strike, I mean, I'm very surprised that we didn't see an all-in from Cloud9 there.
I think they just wanted to back and spend some of this gold that they've gotten, honestly.
Which is a lot, I imagine. Gold in hand we'll bring up here. There's still 2 members that haven't backed. You see, there's one. Bellona, though. Actually, Bellona has another 1,700. That's enough to finish. It's a 1,550 for Frostbound Hammers, which she's going into next. Likely going to try to save up another 30 gold and get a level of an active as well. Teleport 2 probably couldn't hurt. She might even forego the Frostbound and get Teleport 3 because she's getting out-rotated by Baskin.
Look at
every
this
fight.
Sobek. 1-0-2 for JeffHindla, but with the itemization plus the shell here, like, you may actually hit for 0. He's going to
Speaking
toss
of
one
getting
back
hit
here.
for
They're going to
0.
find the Athena. Chain Lightning going to spread to the backside there. Zeus ultimate as well. Detonate coming through momentarily. It doesn't do too much damage to PainDeViande after the detonate, but he's poked up pretty sufficiently there. Athena going to fall back. Ultimate is available for Pain, but it's not going to be enough to save this tier 1. Thor wall going to zone out for now. Shield going to come in over the top. Here comes the Athena ultimate and the fight breaking out. andinster's going to be dunking down. He's going to find just the one, but after the shell was used, trying to run
that's
that team,
big.
but it's a 5-man taunt coming out from Athena in that Bellona ultimate. Hunbot's ultimate used as well. BaRRaCCuDDa will get feared on the end of it even after his beads, but look, Baskin has found a kill already in this fight, a 5v4 and a clean disengage from Cloud9 as Xing holds the front line.
Easy for Cloud9 at this point. It's the only way to call it because that was a perfect initiation or reinitiation by enemy. I mean, it was a huge Athena taunt. They had Chaos going with that big ult as well, but I mean, the shell comes out and they just don't care about it.
That was all Baskin, man. That was Baskin maintaining that front line for Cloud9. Like, they couldn't get to the back and hit the damage dealer. Xbalanque was actually pressed pretty far forward, standing right next to the Xing. They just couldn't ignore him. He's past that critical mass with the Ethereal Staff and now into the Ward Zone as well, where you can't ignore his damage at the level 19 mark. 21, nearly 22 minutes into this game. It's 8-5 for Cloud9. They are up 5,600 gold and just over 8,000 experience to their credit as well. Not so much as a landslide as the last game. Enemy starting to close that gap a bit, but still down big.
Look at this. Adjust 5,400, almost 5,500 damage. Second to the bottom on the player, I think, to whom everyone was looking for the big win this time. Chain Lightning going to proc. Actually going to use his ultimate. Mandy, though. Moment of weakness.
Mr. Mandy, but he's going to have a nice counter initiation with this ultimate, or re-engage rather, into the Hunbot's ultimate's going to use right away. He's stunned out in it. They're going to try to burst down the Thor, but away he goes on the back of the hammer. A stun to prevent the re-engage from Salt Machine. Apollo's gone into the back lines. It's an Athena taunt. It's just going to be enough to pick up MLC Stealth as Apollo comes in, but now Xing Chen is in the backside, and he's going to take out Khaos, and Cloud9 going to move back forward. And remember, andinster has that long-range initiation with the stun. Sobek ultimate doing okay versus Bellona, but she was in the Eagles rally. But fearing no man is Baskin Robin under the tower with the whirlwind and with a kill on the PainDeViande. andinster in some trouble. He will go down. Sobek will toss one more back. BaRRaCCuDDa just throwing bolas untouched. His health didn't move in this engagement, and that is all credited to the Cloud9 frontliners.
You know, God bless Salt Machine here trying to body block this for this tower, but the whole point of this was Andy and MLC had blown their entire kits at this point. The deaths weren't worth the aggression the enemy put into that. They lost their tier 2 because they focused the wrong target, and an unscathed BaRRaCCuDDa walks away, that one 1,500 gold richer.
The biggest difference between that fight and the last fight, they were both re-engages, right? But this fight, Andy didn't hit his wall to stop that Zhong from just running at them the whole time.
Right.
That other fight, he had a perfect wall, and it made it seem like the fight might go a little bit more in enemy's favor, but then Baskin just comes in and shuts everybody down.
10-7 right now. Cloud9 barely ahead in kills, but that is not the same case in gold. We'll go to the graphs here. You'll show a 7,000 gold lead, or 6,400, and rather an 8,000 experience difference as well, with only one level 20 on the board for Cloud9, and that's going to be Baskin.
What's curious to me about this enemy draft coming into this game, again, is that they give Cloud9 one of the most dominant picks that's currently in the game that we've really seen highlighted here at this event in this Xing Chen. And they still don't ban the Thor, right? I mean, they clearly used a ban. They used a target ban in this situation to give up the Xing Chen, and it wasn't onto the Thor, which I find very curious, considering that andinster's having a peach of a game again in terms of his setups. Now, he's not running away with it with his KDA, but his kill participation is okay. His farm is okay, but it's been the walls, you heard Weekend point out there, that have been really on point. BaRRaCCuDDa slowing down the Gold Fury for the moment, just forcing enemy to respect this side of the map and trying to basically freeze Vetium from being able to effectively rotate into these fights, because BaRRaCCuDDa can pretty easily solo him at this point.
PainDeViande charging up and going in with the preemptive strike. No beads from BaRRaCCuDDa. Did he wind up using them, or was that just... I'm not sure.
I think it was Rising Jaguar.
I think they just... Was
like
that a shell they used for it?
It looked just like the Rising Jaguar. Shell might have been used, but I don't think he used the
Enemy
beads there.
starting up the Gold Fury here, guys. Looks like Cloud9 does want to fight this one, so let's take another listen into their comms as they move into enemy on the Gold Fury.
I'm on Bellona in the back. I'm on Bellona. I'm Bellona in the back.
I got big tower. I'm underwater.
That's
Follow,
beats.
follow.
That's your nose.
Nice. Big ol'. Nice. Go. Go, pull back and jump. Nice, let's go. Right here. Apollo's there.
On Apollo.
There.
I'm on gold.
Okay. Nice. Good job.
Nice.
Can we fire?
Yeah, let's fight.
No.
I'm on gold. I'm
gonna stop Hunt for backing.
Just reset.
Hunt's over here. Hunt's over here. Back on him for backing.
Really good combo.
Hunt's here.
Okay.
I'll get him eventually.
He might die at tower.
I got him.
Good job.
He blinked.
Yo, care for
Where is
Bellona
he?
TP.
He's gonna get into Phoenix.
Alright, whatever.
No,
Careful,
he's
Bellona
actually
TP.
suiciding.
He's over here. Want to do
Can
fire
we
or
do
do
fire or no?
Let's do fire. Do fire.
Right now?
Yeah.
Alright, thank.
Stop
here,
come to-
Bellona.
Go on them.
I'm looking for Bellona.
Why spike ranch? We need
Fire Giant started up here. Cloud9 looking to zone out the rest of enemy, but they're going to back off as they see Salt Machine is there. I think it took andinster a little bit too long to walk down that kill. Well, I was expecting just to go into the Phoenix there and let himself die. But I mean, it's a 10-second
doesn't
timeout.
matter. I mean, it doesn't matter where he dies. He was 0-2 at that point. He gives up a little bit of golden experience. He would have given up some regardless because Andy was close enough for the assist. I think he was just trying to bait, and I think the bait was successful.
Yeah, it'll for a moment at least, pause out the Fire Giant. With andinster pausing here, I think Cloud9's decision to disengage was actually based on andinster winning the pause more so than the pressure from Salt Machine.
Possible. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to do a Fire Giant with Bellona hanging around, even with Zeus.
Yeah, it could be scary, but I mean, they're all pretty healthy. I really feel like it could go either way. They could play it safe, back off, go push up the lane, or come back to Fire Giant, get some more vision, or they could just take the fight.
So obviously they're going to try to go for FG. For me, I don't think Salt Machine would have had the opportunity to hit that ultimate and get the kill on FG versus the detonate. What I probably would have looked for, it was to ult Zeus either during a knockup or during the lava pools. Probably during the lava pools.
Yeah, I think they would have looked all in with the Athena ult on top of the Bellona ult and maybe get a kill and then just like have them have to back off because they all aren't alive or whatever.
Double
but
the damage.
Knowing Cloud9, they would have looked to fight beforehand.
But their
Double.
6K gold lead extended up
Good.
to 10,000 thanks to,
Oh,
yeah, that guy right there, BaRRaCCuDDa. Only about 4,000 damage in that last fight, but I mean, that's pretty strong.
Let's take another look at that fight here and see exactly how BaRRaCCuDDa managed to put up 4K into enemy. I mean, again, like, look at this engagement. Just look how little pressure comes out onto BaRRaCCuDDa at any point during this engagement. Baskin just does so much disruption. And Sobek, you heard that call from Jeff. I'm in the water. I'm in the water. And, well, in the water he was
Look at
indeed.
this.
They'll find one kill back into that Zeus ultimate, the detonate coming out. Baskin calling big ultimate, tossing back one more. And, yeah, where's BaRRaCCuDDa in this engagement? Well, I can tell you where he's not, and that is getting aggressed at any point. 4,000 damage dealt. I do believe some of that was onto the Gold Fury, though. I believe that that is captured in that team fight recap.
Either way, man. Like,
Also, another thing I want to point out in that fight, I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure Weekend saw it, but Brandon, I don't know about you. Was MLC chain lightning the Gold Fury there
Oh,
to
yeah.
confirm the chain onto the side of enemy. It was a cute play.
that's the old school, man.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, you know, the Vulcan turret. You get Nasha rings, like you can't use it.
Yeah.
Things like that. And those bounce comps, man.
It was perfect to get the poke on Athena. But the story of these team fights really is Baskin and Andy playing that disruption while his team can do whatever they want. You even said Zeus threw his chain lightning off of a Gold Fury to poke out or kill the... Wasn't it Athena who was out? Yeah. They're focusing... They're able to focus the support.
And then Baskin picking up 2, throwing them right back into the lightning storm, and they just got decimated.
What do you think about the next item here for Baskin? Is it, I mean, traditional wisdom would say he's going deeper down into the tanking tree. But
Gem of Isolation.
yeah, I mean, you could see some kind of cheeky utility damage item come out as well.
I feel like he'll probably just stick to the tanky because, like I said, the
Gem has
story...
250 health on it.
Okay. I mean, he's doing so well. It's Xing 10 first off. He's probably going to be, like, he's almost top damage with...
He probably should go Soul Reaver.
He doesn't need it.
The
Go
goal,
Soul
Soul
Reaver,
Reaver is maybe a little
just
expensive. Maybe something a
slam
little
Bellona.
bit, maybe more cost efficient in terms of damage. Like, I wouldn't hate a Divine Ruin in this situation, something like that. You know, like, but like again, there's no real core healer to need to shut down. Yeah. So, and you already have the Void Shield to help deal with that shell to cut out some of that protection.
Yeah.
Mail of Renewal here, you think?
Always
Or
good
just
call.
straight up,
Yeah.
or just
Yeah, no, he's
Bulwark. I mean,
full-
Bulwark always an option.
He's full CDR right now.
Oh, he's already capped the CDR right with the cooldown boots into the breastplate. So, Bulwark probably the thing, or maybe a Mid Guardian perhaps.
Realistically, yeah, he could mid-guardian.
Mid-guardian's
Realistically, he could
always
probably pick up whatever he
Wing
wanted.
Blade,
And any tanky
Witch
item
Blade.
would be fine.
Any of those are probably fine.
Andy has about 3,000 gold over at Just again. And it looks like 3 levels as well. And this time, no crit. He's going into Brawlers. More pen.
Well, this game was a little closer.
A little closer.
Right, I mean,
Not
I think
by
only
much.
like way out ahead is when the only time you're going to see him go Deathbringer. It's been realistically Thor in
10,000
hands
gold.
twice in an engagement usually, right? It's like stun in hand, hammer in hand, spin, right? And like, you know.
That's also the way the game's been going. He's not been... I mean, he's doing okay on damage. He's not doing bad.
He's not
but
snowballing.
that's not what he's looking to do. He's looking to control the team fights, not to be the one putting out the damage.
And he's doing it.
Yeah,
He's doing
definitely.
it real well.
And it's going to be the triple pen build here, it looks like.
Ooh, gets carded. He'll take a couple hundred from that. Not a huge deal. Still a small win.
Baskin's actually going hide.
Yeah, he's going to go hide with that shield of the underworld. And check out your boy BaRRaCCuDDa. That's going to be an Odysseus bow.
I'm down.
Last item for this Xbalanque.
It's one of my favorite items in the game. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. It makes him very hard to box considering his
It's also going to
attack
make this
speed.
next Gold Fury engagement pretty funny because there's going to be Zeus Chain Lightning bouncing around as well as Xbalanque Chain Lightning.
I wish there was a Nasha ring.
And a Najah ring just for good measure.
I love bounce comp. Just Nasha, Zeus, that Athena.
Zeus is scary enough. You don't even need to have anything else.
Fire Giant getting gestured here by the boys of Cloud9. Obviously sniffed out by enemy. They will see the grouping here. Chain Lightning doesn't hit. The stun, the double tap, the fling do. And they force away the Shield of the Underworld pretty early. BaRRaCCuDDa's got to be
around
very happy about that.
Yeah, that means BaRRaCCuDDa can now look to isolate him in the fight. Although Xing Chen does get poked out fairly effectively there. Cloud9, you can see just looking for picks. They don't look like they really want to fight this one. Xbalanque's positioning. Look how far back BaRRaCCuDDa is playing in this engagement. He's like way back by the orange buff. Oh, Hindla gets beads.
That hurts.
That's bad news, Bears.
Jeff's
They're
going to
gonna
lose a
try to poke
lot
out
of
Jeff.
health for this, but not nearly as important as the fact that Vetium will get caught.
Oh,
PainDeViande
Pain's
very
dead.
low as well, likely to go down. Andy to the back line. This is looking too clean.
Yeah, this should lead to the free fire giant as well. Oh my God, that Sobek ultimate just did so much. Zeus detonating on top of it. Here comes the whirlwind, and it doesn't look like Vetium's even getting the chance to hit the ground here, as he will fall. BaRRaCCuDDa credited with a double in that engagement.
Vetium's play was right. I mean, he went in, he found a kill, but I mean, he didn't have beads and they knew it, so they just tossed him around like a rag doll.
And all he gets is the Sobek here, and they really needed to find BaRRaCCuDDa, because BaRRaCCuDDa is the key to the fire giant, and he will successfully grab that one. Taking a look at Bellona. Here comes Salt Machine, but not in time, and this is not where you want to be. Force the Eagles rally is going to be followed up easily here. Shield of the Underworld is used, but the disarm is used during the Shield of the Underworld proc, meaning that it's not going to get much damage on the BaRRaCCuDDa. Not that it would matter anyway with the Fire Giant buff and 5 kills behind the Xbalanque. He's sitting on an absurd 370. Is that a 7?
Where are you going?
No, 342, 352. Just massive, massive damage out of the Xbalanque. I'm looking at his in-hand. I mean, you don't need crit when your basics are hitting for 300 plus and spreading damage.
So here we go, right into the Phoenix. No trouble whatsoever from Cloud9. In fact, Andy going super deep as an assassin, doing about 50% of two people's health. He's almost down, though. BaRRaCCuDDa forced to rotate back in. A just may have overcommitted here. He needs the kill on a BaRRaCCuDDa. He will find it, but he does get taken down in return.
Well, killing BaRRaCCuDDa still does prevent Cloud9 from effectively being able to siege. No, he didn't get BaRRaCCuDDa. He got Andy.
Oh, we got
Andy.
He got Andy, yeah. So with BaRRaCCuDDa still up, they can still continue to caress down this left side.
I just assumed that going that deep would have to be for the Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I was like, okay, so they got BaRRaCCuDDa, they can stall out the push, but no.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. They get Andy, and Andy is perfectly happy to die in that situation. 4-3-9. He's his net worth is just over 14K. He's still farming pretty well, but it's BaRRaCCuDDa who's the most valuable player on the map. And, well, in North America, according to you at home, congratulations to him again for winning that MVP award.
Enemy looks like trying to contest this Gold Fury, but, I mean, this is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because if they lose another 1,750 gold, like, the game's over. If they gain 1,750 gold, I think the game is still over.
Yeah, it doesn't change too much. I don't think Cloud9 is at all worried about anything right now. They're just going to wait for Andy to get back up and push down probably gold and get the rest of the towers.
Is that a crusher? Did Andy build the
Yes,
crusher?
he did.
Going for tower damage, man. What does he need anti-healing
No, I
for?
think he's just like, you know what? I want this one,
Yeah,
not Brawlers.
I think that's what it was.
Because, I mean, like, it's not like Thor's going to be hitting towers and then kiting people with all his bonus movement speed, right? Like, I mean,
How many stacks do we have on Hide of the Urchin right now for Baskin? He just bought it.
7?
7? Didn't he just buy that?
Yeah, he did.
that's right, he did. He literally just bought it and got 7 right away. Cloud9, they're going to barrel down this left side and force a defense at the Phoenix again on the far side from the Fire Giant. Gold Fury was just picked up. Golden Experience is, well, it's kind of comical at this point how far ahead they are. 20K again in experience, 15K gold. And you heard us talking about at the end of that last game, if Cloud9 wins game 2 with a margin of 20K plus, it's very, very unlikely enemy has the wherewithal to come back into this one. Cloud9, they're going to look to break the base of enemy for the second time and take out the left side Phoenix. Let's get into their comms and hear as they look for the win.
We should probably just play slow, right?
Yeah. We're missing Apollo still.
Missing Apollo. If you guys move
There's
up back,
5 here.
Yeah, we can position aggressively.
Yeah. Just care for the big taunt.
once that mid wave goes in, push this.
Yeah.
Kind of hammer it a little bit.
I don't want
Just
to
play
be
it,
up as far
just-
as you guys.
Yeah, you can stay behind me.
I'm just waiting for the
I'll
mid
stay
wave.
on the left, you stay on the right still.
Just tell me one, and I'm good to go.
Right when the wave goes in, Thor.
Care for Bellona on side. Is
Not
that
sure.
Zhong card?
On Phoenix, one Phoenix,
Yeah,
one
me
Phoenix.
too. I tell up. Yeah, Phoenix
I'm
is
coming,
low.
Phoenix.
He's
Phoenix,
taking-
Yeah, I got the
Phoenix.
pull on Zhong. I have the pull on Zhong.
Careful,
Zhong
blow
on
him
the
back.
side.
We kill, we kill, we
Zhong
kill.
underwater, that's tunnel.
Looking at who?
They're low, they're low.
Yo,
Phoenix
Apollo
one
beats down.
shot.
Apollo
Hey,
beats
Phoenix
I
one
help him
shot.
back, I help him
Apollo
back.
beats down.
Going below
Phoenix
in
one
the
shot.
back.
I got Phoenix, I got Phoenix.
You're going below.
I got
with you,
heavens,
I'm with you,
I got
I'm
heavens,
with
I got heavens. I got tail ups here.
Good game.
Blows, one
Blows,
shot,
one shot,
right next to you guys.
Good
Nice.
job, guys.
We did.
Andy with the swift triple there. The initiation was very nice. You saw MLC stealth beads Aegis right away as that Homebot's ultimate came out. Comes back, throws out the detonate, and now the rest of Cloud9 will pile into the base and find the Titan kill. And now it's 0-2 for enemy. But hey, they already qualified for Worlds.
No Zhong, no Thor, I imagine, is what will happen next game. Thor having too much presence, Zhong not having enough.
Yeah, it's surprising to see them go back for that Zhong after game 1 not going so hot.
Ain't that true, Weekend?
Yeah, I'm really surprised they're letting the Thor through and then Xing 10 on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's been banning it.
What was that team comp?
It was, I think Cloud9 drafted the perfect comp for themselves, honestly.
Yeah, one of the better ones you're going to get. I mean, anytime you get BaRRaCCuDDa on a late game carry and you draft like a jungler like a Thor or a Circuit and a solo laner like, say, the Xing Tian, maybe something like a Hercules or even a Sun Wukong, where they can just make so much space for that Xbalanque. You saw BaRRaCCuDDa just put the gas pedal on VGM and take him down a couple times.
To be fair, it was pretty close, right? I mean, enemy even had the lead, but they threw the Gold Fury.
No, they were playing it really well, actually. The fights were kind of back and forth. They were trying to shut down BaRRaCCuDDa, but that strategy I just don't think came through for them.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the analysts thought about it, guys. Let's toss it over to Kelly and the boys in blue to break down game number 2 of a best of 5 series. Kelly, take it away.
Thank you so much, Bart. So let's get right into it, guys. They seemed a lot better. Enemy seemed a lot stronger in that game, but it just didn't work out for them. Why was that?
We saw some team fights where the Bellona didn't really do her job in the later stages of the game. There was one important team fight around the Fire Giant where the Apollo ultied in towards the end of the team fight, and the Bellona still had her ultimate there, and she could have utilized it and stuck on BaRRaCCuDDa and tried, because he had Hide of the Nemean Lion and Shield of the Underworld. So with that build, you're intending to stick onto the enemy Hunter, but he just didn't do it that one important team fight.
No, he was supposed to stick on the Cloud9 Hunter. I gotta get one in.
That wasn't bad.
Thank you. Sit
Don't
down. You
encourage
know what I
him.
like in COD? He could stay. Can we keep him?
For me,
Please,
honestly,
Timothy.
I think a big problem as well was the Gold Fury that they lost. They had a lead up until that point, and that's really when it started to come around. I think if they could have secured that Gold Fury, they could have kept the momentum going, but I think that really, really hurt not only them physically in the game, but also emotionally to lose that Gold Fury when they were already ahead.
Why do they keep giving Andy Thor?
I don't know, and they even passed a ban. I'm assuming that was miscommunication in their comms. Like they couldn't really. There's almost never a reason to not ban a
How
god.
would you have miscommunication about
You,
that,
you're just
though?
like
He
you
went
can't
11-0.
decide. You just like the person banning probably at that time maybe wasn't their primary like banner. Like maybe he's not the one calling the final decisions, and he was just kind of at the top of the like he just created the lobby. It's rough. Like there was no reason to not ban Thor there, and I think they suffered for it.
I mean, they obviously did. They didn't win the game, and maybe they're not going to win this game. What does enemy have to do to take a game off of them?
They had a really good start to this game. They're building around these team fight compositions, but they're still not winning the team fights, and that's a problem. They need to figure out whether it be in the comms or whether it be getting picked off too often. They need to figure out how to really win these team fights because that's where they're picking their compositions to thrive in. Where we're seeing Cloud9 doing the Thor. They're going for more of that global pickoff comp before the fights. Enemies putting all of their focus into team fights, and they have to win those.
They're not really executing their team fights properly. I'm going to go back to the fight you were talking about, Totally, about like 31-minute mark. We saw Cloud9 pressuring Fire Giants. An enemy didn't want to really let them get it. And what happened was Jeff kind of had a bad initiation. Cloud9, they kind of got a little bit separated, took a lot of damage. Vetium, unfortunately, ulted in on Apollo, missed his ult on 2 targets that were incredibly low, both Baskin and it was Stealth on Zeus. If that ult would have landed, he would have locked them down. And the whole time, Saltmachine's was just sitting off to the side with ult, full health, full mana, and not really doing anything. He seemed a little bit slow to want to commit. Like, this was not the Saltmachine that we saw, honestly, against Envy, like, at all.
Why does KS keep building Zhong into Zeus?
I think it's just a little bit more comfort right now. It's the finals of the LAN. He wants to pick a god that's not very easy to lock down and kill, has a lot of turnaround potential with his ultimate, a lot of protections. So I think it's a little bit of nerves. If he ran Agni, I think, with Athena, then it might actually utilize some more efficient tactics in this next game.
Is that what you guys want to see? You want to see an Agni or maybe something else?
I like the Agni pick, but only if they do go the Athena. Agni doesn't have quite the presence as Zhong as far as team fight goes, especially because he's building the shell. He's actually being very tanky in these team fights, but he's not bringing the damage that they need. They need something to pick off these targets, and an Agni would bring that. But without the Athena, he doesn't have the proper setup in order to do so.
I mean, both of these team comps were really strong, but where are they underperforming an enemy?
I think this is kind of just team fight experience and LAN experience coming out of Cloud9. They're team fighting better. Their stuff is synergizing. Everyone's fully committing to fights. And also the lane that we thought that enemy was going to have the best chance at abusing isn't losing. Baskin right now has been playing phenomenal so far in these past 2 games. He obviously got Xing this game where, you know, he was behind early. He tried to be Omega, as we saw. He got first blooded at 7 minutes when he used every single one of his abilities to steal the opponent's blue buff. They rotated over actually and got that, but like he was controlling the pace of the team fights, locking out the key carries for enemy. Like he was just like locking out Vetium from being able to get into the fight, and BaRRaCCuDDa was just free casting in the back line most of the time for Cloud9.
To be fair, that first blood that happened onto the Xing Shen when he baited out 2 people to rotate and he got 1v3'd, that was fine as long as C9 was able to capitalize on that by getting an early goal through, but it just wasn't there. They tried to rotate to save him and instead of going for the more efficient objective play.
Do you guys want to see a more aggressive play or a more passive play out of enemy?
I like enemy style that they're going for. It would have worked that game had the Gold Fairy fight
Yes,
not gone
I
so
agree.
poorly. I think they have the right idea in mind. They just need to get down the execution.
So do you think they have a shot, or is this going to be a 3-0 sweep?
I think they have a shot, but I also think it's going to be a 3-0 sweep.
What bans do you guys want to see out of them, enemy?
For me, you can't let Xing 10 through. You just can't let it happen. He's just too strong. The god builds all defensive items and still can output an insane amount of damage on your carries in the backline. You have to get rid of him. I wasn't super impressed with the Thor last game comparatively to the first game, so I think they could let that through as long as they ban out the Xing.
Do you guys think we're going to see Xbalanque again, or is enemy going to pick out Xbalanque instead? Because BaRRaCCuDDa seemed really strong on him.
I think Xbalanque is fine. I don't necessarily know if we'll definitely see it. I think picked if it's not banned. It wouldn't be banned unless it's in the second phase of the draft, though, so it'll be picked. It could be for either side, though.
All right, I want to ask you guys before I toss it to the casters, is this going to be a 3-0 sweep?
Originally, I had C9 3-1, but the way they're playing these last 2 games, I'm going to actually give it to them 3-0 this time.
Adonis?
I think it's going to be sweep.
I think enemy has a chance.
Are you saying they're going to win, though?
Are they going to win? I think if they get down that team fight with the compositions that they're building, they can definitely take a game.
So 3-1?
How much money?
I don't know if anyone heard, but Brandon just bet Incon $20 on the outcome of this game. Brandon's got C9. I think that's a safe bet, Brandon.
Well, let's see if Brandon can put his money where his mouth is. We're going to go to game 3, everyone. Is Cloud9 going to take this in a sweep, or is enemy going to upset another team? Let's go to the casters.
What